Hello, movie lovers. We are formerly known as Cinema Squad, and now we're going to be known as Till the Last Credit. We changed our name up a bit, and we're going to be starting fresh and posting a lot more and trying to be more consistent and more dedicated. And so we think you guys will like what we've got in store for you in the future. Anyways, with me are my regular guests plus two other people that aren't on here a lot. Will, how are you doing, my man?
I'm doing great. What's up?
Nothing is up except for this podcast right now.
All right.
Darren, how shitty's your day been?
My day's actually been very productive. It has not been shitty at all. So
Great. Well, how's your week been?
Good.
Amazing. Tisha, how have you been doing?
I've been doing all right. It was my birthday this week, so I'm doing really good.
Amazing. And guy who has the same name as me, how have you been doing?
Well, with an intro like that, how could I not just be doing spot on?
Amazing. Well, let's just jump right into it. We're going to get into some gloomy and depressing news. Ben Affleck, I don't know, none of us know what the fuck is up with this thing, okay? The other day, he said the script was done, they were ready to shoot in the spring for the Batman. Now he's saying that there is no script, and that they're still trying to work things out, and if things don't work out the way he wants them to, that he's not going to direct it. So no one knows what's going on. A lot of people are panicking. There's a lot of theories out there as to what's going on, and some people think this movie will happens. Some people don't think it will happen. Will, what are your thoughts right now? What are you thinking?
Well, the fact that Affleck already said there was a script, he wrote it himself with Jeff Johns assisting, and then now he's saying there is no script, makes me wonder if Warner Brothers rejected the script he turned in, which if that's the case, I'd be pretty mad too. If I poured my heart and soul into a movie script about, by the way, one of my favorite characters, because Affleck is a huge Batman fan, I'd be pretty upset. I'd be pretty butthurt, and I'd be ready to just say, you know what? Fuck you. I'm out. Now, he's contractually obligated to play Batman. They're not going to let him out of that. So I highly doubt he really walks away. But I think he is trying to make Warner Brothers sweat a little bit, because I think he's trying to do a you don't know who you're fucking with move. And I honestly think that's all this is. I think Affleck is trying to stand his ground and just make Warner Brothers basically give him what he wants, which is probably the best thing. Every misstep in the DCEU so far has been the fault of Warner Brothers. And we've said this a million times. They need to just step back and let their people do what they know how to do.
Okay. Darren, what are you thinking right now?
currently, I just want to go against a little bit what we'll say, because my thoughts are pretty short and sweet. But
How dare you?
If he did turn in a script and Warner Brothers did reject it, if it was a bad script, they had all the right in the world to reject it. Look, Ben Affleck's Ben Affleck, but anybody can write a bad script. And if he turned in a bad script... That's
apparently what David Live by Night.
But I'm just saying, if he turned in a bad script and Warner Brothers rejected it, they had every right in the world to reject it because that is their property. But as far as I'm concerned, with the Batman movie at this point, with all this swishy, swashy, flip-floppity stuff that's been going on, there isn't a Batman movie right now. When there's a movie that is actually announced and that, actually has... There's a press release, there's a shooting schedule, there's an actual location. When there's no more rumors and shit, that's when I believe a Batman movie is happening. From this moment on, there is no Batman movie happening for me. Nothing's happening. Ben Affleck's not directing a Batman movie at the moment. It's just not there at the moment. So it just doesn't exist until it actually exists. So that's pretty much my thoughts on the Batman movie at this moment.
Miller, what are your thoughts?
I pretty much completely agree with Darren. He really summed it up well, which I think also taps into the whole release date thing, because when DC back in 2014, when they said all these release dates, people were like, oh, all these movies are happening. Well, not necessarily. Just because setting a release date doesn't mean anything.
Right. So far, one of them might be canceled and two of them are in development hell.
Yeah.
Tisha, what do you think?
I mean... I think that Ben Affleck does a great job when he writes a good script, and he has been a lifelong fan of Batman. However, just because you're a fan of something doesn't mean that you can necessarily write a good script about it. You might be a little too close to the source, being Batman, being the director, and also wanting to write it. You might be a scotch too close to it, you know? And so I can kind of understand why WB, if they did reject it, it might not have been good, but they might be trying to do what they did with the Suicide Squad and nip it in the bud right away and try to make it a little more goofy, a little more cartoony, and that's not, you know, who Batman really is, except for in the 60s version and in, you know, the ones that we do not speak of. But, so, you know, which even Michael Keaton, when he saw the script, I remember reading that somewhere recently where he was like, yeah, I didn't want to do it because I read the script and was like, no, there's no way I'm doing this. So that's why he didn't return. But, that's the issue with it. WB wants to become Marvel, wants to be campy, wants to go back to the campy days when they should know by now that doesn't necessarily work for Batman in movies. Batman is a dark and serious character. He always has been, and that's how he started off as. We can have a serious Batman. We know that from the cartoon. We know that from Tim Burton. We know that from Batman Begins, all of that. So WB needs to take a step back and understand that we need the Dark Knight to be the Dark Knight, not the, kind of in the Gray Knight, you know? And, and so we need, you know, I think both of them kind of need to take a step back. I think that Ben Affleck needs to stop being so close to it and maybe let somebody else touch the script a little bit, and he can work on it, but have someone else have, you know, I know that you said someone else had some input on the script as well.
Yeah, Jeff Johns, the chief creative officer of DC.
Okay. Jeff Johns is not on that fucking script.
So,
I don't give a shit what anyone says. Jeff Johns didn't do shit on that script.
He probably isn't.
Well, then give this guy a little bit more room to work on the script, not just Ben Affleck.
Jeff Johns doesn't need to work on that script, though. Jeff Johns is a comic book writer, not a movie writer.
But that's just my opinion on it. I think that, you know, I think Ben Affleck needs to take a step back, maybe not put so many hats on for this project, because it's a lot to ask of someone, especially on such a beloved character. It's not like The Town or, you know, Argo or any of that where he was wearing all these hats and starring in the movies, and he did a great job, do not get me wrong, and they were dark. Like, it was all the same, basically, except it wasn't, you know, a Batman movie. But he needs to take a step back, maybe take a break, take a breath, and figure out what he's doing. And WB maybe needs to get their hands out of the pot and be like, we have screwed up so many movies, we need to stop touching them and let people who know what they're doing do their job. That's just my opinion.
Okay, Fox, what do you think?
I agree with Darren that until I see consequential proof that this movie is going to be a thing, it's not going to be. I've seen so many times that movies don't get released. Mm-hmm. And they say they're going to be released, but they never get released because you don't hear about it, and then it dies. And so until I know for a consequential fact that this is going to be a movie, there's no, as Darren puts it, there's no Batman movie.
Well, I think this movie is happening. It's just, I think the Batman will happen. And I think that Ben Affleck's script will get made. What I'm questioning is whether he'll direct it or not. But I think we're kind of misinterpreting what he's saying a bit. I think when he said there's no script, what he meant to say was there's no set script. That they have a script, it's just not finalized yet. And That's entirely possible because I don't think he ever said that they had a finalized script. I think he always said they were still tweaking it, they were still tweaking it, they were still tweaking it. So...
Yeah, but it's just... Why would you... The thing is about what he said about there being no script, and if the script isn't good, like, why would you say that for us to misconstrue? You should... If you're going to say something like that, don't say anything at all.
Darren, you got to think.
But but it's just like, you don't... I understand that, but you like... You're putting...
Same time, he's stressed out, he's divorced, there's a lot to factor in. I mean,
there is a lot to factor in, but at the same time, you're an adult, and you're an adult, and you have to really think about what you're putting out there for everyone to see. And if you say there is no script, of course people are going to pick at that. Either don't say anything, you don't put that in the ether, especially you know what's going on with your studio and the history of your studio for the last few months. You don't say something like that, because that would raise some hairs on people's necks.
I feel like if there was a script that was still being worked on, he would have said that. We have a script that's not finished. We're still working on it. We're still polishing it. We're still bouncing some ideas around. But that's not what he said.
Yeah, he went from saying there was they were working on it to there was just no script. So
and with all of this,
while they're at screenings for these movies and shit like that, and I mean, he's trying to promote his own movie, and he's got his own problems.
Yeah, but you have to stay on your toes, though. You have to stay on your toes, or
this
type of situation happens.
With all this confusion, not once has he tried to set the record straight and say, no, I misspoke. He's never corrected it. A lot of people misspoke. A lot of people misspeak in interviews, and then once the fucking internet blows up, then they go on Twitter or they go wherever and they say, all right, let's take a step back. I misspoke. What I meant to say was this. Affleck hasn't done that.
He also said
Warner Brothers also hasn't done that.
He said the same day in another interview that everything was going well, and that the idea was for him to direct it, and that everything was on track. So, I don't know. It's this whole thing is entirely just too confusing. I just want, this is my dream. Before he was even announced to direct it, or it was even rumored he was going to direct it, I was like, just give me a Ben Affleck Batman movie with him directing it. I want to see this movie happen so much. And
we all want to see the movie happen, Dylan, but we also have to sit there and look at the facts.
Yeah.
As John Campia said on Movie Talk, I think this is a possibility that him and Jeff Johns are at odds. I think that's a possibility.
I think that's digging. I don't think.
I don't think Jeff Johns would mess with them.
I think that's absolutely true.
Campia also said that that's the worst case scenario. That's like nuclear disaster if Johns and Affleck aren't on the same page. Because if Johns and Affleck are on the same page, they can go to Warner Brothers together as a team.
Yeah.
If Johns and Affleck are the ones that aren't seeing eye to eye, that could seriously derail this project.
Yeah, I just see
worst case scenario.
And I just see blaming Johns as just like, oh, blame the little guy. It's just like, who? We don't even. We have nothing to work with on whether or not he is proven in Hollywood, and you can't just blame him. Wonder Woman is coming out. Either blame him or worship him when Wonder Woman comes out, because that's when we're actually going to get to see his work.
Not only that,
that's what Campia pointed out. He posted that thing to his Twitter, and he was like, "Oh, top 5 things to look forward to, and whatever."
Yeah, but Dylan,
Batman was not even on there.
But Dylan, you know how bent out of shape. Look, no one's on the same page with Batman. Ben Affleck gets bent out of shape when Kevin Sujihara comes out and says, "Oh, we're shooting in the spring." Or, whatever the fuck his other name is, hold on, guys, sorry.
I know who you're talking about.
Wasn't Jeff Johns' Twitter list for 2017, though?
Yeah, and it's for 2017 as well. Batman's not coming out in 2017.
Yeah, but, they're shooting in 2017.
Who says
maybe.
Who? Says who? We don't, that's not confirmed. Says who? Yeah, it's just like, that's for 2017.
Actually, Jeff Bukes did confirm it, because he said that they were shooting in the spring.
Dude,
it's just
no one knows
No
what
one
they're doing
knows, exactly.
Yeah.
No one is on the same page. And apparently there's no script, but there is a script. So, no one's on the same page here. It's just
Also, Jeff Johns isn't new to Hollywood.
yeah.
Well, he got his start as an intern for Richard Donner. He got started in Hollywood and then transitioned to comic books. He's been around the movie scene. He knows what's going on.
Is he a
And he's
Kevin?
been
He executive produced all the DC movies.
He's been a producer since Green Lantern.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a Kevin
got
Feige,
promoted
but
to
he
be
has
creative
his.
officer.
He's not a Kevin Feige, but he has his feet wet. Like he's
Exactly.
been in there.
But it wasn't. I wasn't saying blame the little guy. I'm just looking at all.
No,
the
I'm just
stories
saying that's
there
what
for
that's
could
what I
happen.
feel like everyone else is doing. They're blaming the little guy.
I mean, it's just that's entirely possible that him and Affleck are at odds because I mean he has not said anything about the Batman. Nothing.
But if you really want to see this movie happen, you should be hoping that's not the case.
Jeff Johns could just be letting Ben Affleck do his thing.
Yeah, and also I think
that's
Ben Affleck's
entirely
asking
possible,
him
but
too. Like, don't talk about it. I think he's just asking like Jeff, do not talk about this movie, please. Like, just can we just let
That's
it
true,
happen?
because everyone is talking about this movie except for Johns and like everyone is. Affleck does not talk about this movie when he's not asked about it, and when he is asked about it, he kind of gets in kind of moody type of way. So that's entirely possible because I don't think he wants anything to get out about this movie. I
Yeah.
think he just wants to keep everything on the down low. Then when they start shooting, he can be like, oh yeah, it's happening now. We're doing this. So
Yeah.
because I think this whole time he's been unsure whether it'll happen or not because I think something is obviously going on behind the scenes with Warner Brothers. So I think the whole time he's just been trying to keep it on the down low in case things go AWire or whatever. Is that all we have to say on that? We can move on from this?
Yeah, we've been talking about this for a little bit.
long
So
time. Yeah.
get your shit
Okay.
together, guys. Just please.
Please, Affleck, make this movie happen. Please. That's all I want from DC is for this movie to happen. Okay, what is next? Sorry, I had to pull the thing up. Okay, yeah. The Uncharted script is finished. Fuck. Holy fuck, I don't want this movie to happen. If you don't
It
know,
won't, so don't worry about it.
Uncharted is the video game series developed by Naughty Dog, and it is now being adapted into a movie. And as we all know, video game movies don't always go over so well.
Don't always go over so well.
Warcraft.
Warcraft,
Assassin's
baby.
Creed, kind of. Well, I like Assassin's Creed, but not everyone else does. So, yeah. Me and Darren are the main fans here of Uncharted. So, Darren, what are your thoughts?
I don't want this movie to happen either, but because Naughty Dog games to me are movies within themselves. Last of Us goes for that as well. They're movies themselves. You don't really have to make them into movies. They are story-based games. They're not like other video games or the other video games are more based on gameplay, and you can take the mechanic or the idea of that world and make a story out of that. But the only thing that's really exciting me about this movie is Joe Carnahan. That's the only reason I'm going to this movie. That's the only reason I'm going to be in line for this movie, because I think Joe Carnahan can do something with this. And I love the Gray, and I'm really excited for Bad Boys 3. I can't wait to see what he does with that film. But that's the only real thing. I'm glad he has finished the script. Hopefully video game movies can get back on track, can get on track. And, I hope this movie's good, because Joel Carnahan is the only reason I really have faith in this thing. So I'm glad he's finished the script, and hopefully some good things can come out of this.
Yeah, Joe Carnahan, that's cool. I guess he wrote The Gray, correct?
Yeah. And he also did the A-Team, which I really liked. I love the A-Team.
But yeah, I'm a huge fan of the Uncharted games, but I don't want this movie to happen. Mark Wahlberg apparently just dropped out of the movie like a couple of weeks ago, so something's going on there, but I don't want them to fuck this movie up.
They've been trying to make this movie forever. It won't happen.
Yeah, but have they ever had a finished script before?
They had David O. Russell directing it with almost the full cast at one point.
Jesus
It
Christ.
still didn't happen.
Okay then.
Yeah,
well, I'm
just-
glad that didn't happen because I hate David O. Russell. So.
really-
Watch Soboning's playbook.
Really don't want this to happen.
Darren, would you rather have The Last of Us or Uncharted get made?
I'd rather have a BioShock movie.
Yeah, but out of the last, since you don't want either of them made, out of The Last of Us and Uncharted, which one would you rather have made?
A BioShock movie, Dylan.
Fuck. Whatever. Fox, have you played the video games?
No, I'm picking them up in like a week.
Well, good for you. After you play them, you're gonna have the same thoughts as me and Darren do. Anyways, I don't think no one else has played the games, right? Will, yeah, I know you haven't played them. Miller, you haven't played
I'm
them.
not a gamer.
No.
Tisha, you don't play video games, so yeah, we'll
Well-
just go ahead and, huh?
No, I don't play video games, but I've watched people play the game.
Watch people play Uncharted.
Yeah,
They're great. You should
they are great games. They are very good games, and I am very nervous about the game not being done justice in a movie form because games. I mean, I've watched people play through them, most of them actually, and that's how good they are. Is you can watch them as though they are a movie being, played right in front of you. So I have wanted an Uncharted film. I was rooting for Nathan Fillion when he was trying to get cast in that for a while. But I mean, I feel like the ship is almost sailing for that, especially considering how poorly games do in the box office. Game movies do in the box office. So as much as I would love for it to be made into a movie, I'm kind of nervous about that happening finally, because it feels like it's almost been too long, if that makes sense.
Well, to move on to some Thor Ragnarok news, Marvel Studios had released the synopsis for Thor Ragnarok. It goes like this. In Marvel Studios' Thor Ragnarok, Thor is imprisoned on the other side of the universe without his mighty hammer and finds himself in a race against time to get back to Asgard to stop Ragnarok, the destruction of his homeworld and the end of Asgardian civilization. At the hands of an all-powerful new threat, the ruthless Hela.
Hela.
But first he must... What?
Hela. It's called Hela.
You really had to interrupt me for that.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, then pronounce it correctly next time, Dylan.
Yeah.
At the hands of an all-powerful new threat, the ruthless Hela. But first he must survive a deadly gladiatorial contest that pits him against his former ally and fellow Avenger, the Incredible Hulk. Fucking kill me. Okay, Tisha, what are your thoughts on this?
Just wow. I don't know if I like that, but is that a storyline that happened?
No, that's just
Ragnarok
it's a
was.
combination of Ragnarok, Planet Hulk. Yeah, it's a combination of Ragnarok and Planet Hulk.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Why is he fight?
Because on
We
Planet,
don't know yet.
yeah, we don't know yet. But the Planet Hulk storyline, Hulk went to an off-world planet, and he became a gladiator there, and he was pretty much the top of his class, fighting throughout everything. So.
Well, he didn't go there. He was
he was
there.
sent. Yeah, he was sent there by the Illuminati.
The Avengers knew that the Civil War was looming, and they knew that the Hulk would not be okay during that period, so they sent him away. But yeah, everything else we said was right.
Well then. Okay. I guess I have to see why everything is going down the way it is, I guess.
Okay, well, Fox, what do you think?
I think
Yeah.
it's kind of a bit much for me. Which one's coming out first, Planet Hulk or
It's the same thing.
Ragnarok.
They're
Is-
compliant.
They're the
is-
same thing. It's like a
Same movie?
combination.
Okay. Well, then I don't even know what to say because I have no words to
Yeah.
describe how I'm feeling about this movie.
Okay, well, Will, how do you feel?
I'm looking forward to it. I have not been the biggest fan of the Thor movies. I'm not a big fan of Thor in the comic books. I think he's boring, and the movies have been equally as boring. That said, I'm a huge fan of the Incredible Hulk, and I always love seeing Hulk and Thor interact with each other. I don't know why. Maybe it's because when I was a child, they did that TV movie with Lou Ferrigno, and they had Thor in that, and I don't know. I love seeing Thor and the Hulk interact with each other. I love seeing them interact in the Avengers, and I loved Hulk versus Thor, the animated film.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to this. And I hope it's the best Thor movie of the three.
Okay, well, Miller, what are your thoughts?
I think from the synopsis, it's great. It definitely gets me a lot more excited about this movie, and I just like the direction they're going with it. Just it's kind of like Thor has to get back to Asgard movie, and that could create a lot of fun times in the movie. And I think the director doing it has definitely proved himself, and I think it'll be the tone of his movies will be a great match for what this movie seems to be going for.
Okay, Darren, what are your thoughts?
This synopsis honestly didn't move my excitement at all. My excitement is where it's always been, and I'm pretty excited for this movie because I feel like if they do this right, and if they do Spider-Man right, and of course if they do Guardians right, Marvel could be looking at a very good year for themselves because they could have one of the most unique and one of the best films of the MCU with Taika Waititi, the director of the film. And also, I do kind of like how they're combining Ragnarok and Planet Hulk. I'm more looking forward to Bruce Banner and Hulk, their interactions more than actually Hulk and Thor. Like the only thing that does not excite me whatsoever about this synopsis is Thor versus Hulk. I don't care about superheroes fighting each other anymore. We saw an entire year of that last year. Fuck, I'm almost like the Avengers, they fight each other. Avengers Age of Ultron, they fight each other. Civil War, they all fought each other. I'm getting tired of people fighting each other in the MCU. But but on the other side of that, there are going to be people looking forward to that. Looking forward to Hulk and Thor going at it like Will. So but I'm still excited for this movie. It just didn't move my excitement anymore. It'll probably come with a trailer, but yeah, I'm still looking forward to the film. This synopsis just doesn't ignite my excitement anymore.
Okay, well, time for me to rant. Yeah. Okay. I saw this. I was really looking forward to Thor Ragnarok. Okay, I was looking forward to Thor Ragnarok more than I was. Probably a little bit more than Spider-Man Homecoming, way more than Guardians of the Galaxy Vol. 2, because I just do not care about that movie for some reason. But I was really looking forward to Thor Ragnarok because I wasn't really interested until that Doctor Strange post-credit scene and then we learned Doctor Strange was going to be in Thor Ragnarok, and I was like, holy shit, yes. And I was like, I'm totally on board with this movie now. And then the synopsis came out, and it just pissed me off to no end. I'm so fucking tired of seeing heroes fight. I'm just so fucking sick and tired of it. It's like we can't have a Marvel team-up movie where they don't fight at some point.
It's going to be like a few minutes, though. It's not.
Yeah, I mean, I bet it's going to be a very small portion, but I mean, still, I agree with you. I agree with you. I'm tired of seeing people fight. I'm tired.
I'm with.
Ridiculous.
I'm with you guys.
I mean, it's in the synopsis, so it has to be a bigger part of the movie. I hope it's not.
Not really.
It is in the synopsis, but I don't know. It just pissed me off. Like I just want to see one team-up, a Marvel team-up movie where we don't see them fight at some point in the movie, and I'm so sick and tired of it. We saw the entirety last. It was just super. Even on the fucking CW, they were fighting, and I'm just like, stop. I don't want any more superhero spiders.
I get that totally, but I think it'll be cool from this perspective because there's always been a lot of like tension, like in Avengers between Hulk and Thor, like the scene where Hulk punches Thor in the face and stuff like that. So I think it'll be fun. But yeah, I get why people would be tired of it. But to me, it like doesn't really matter.
I just want to see a Thor and Hulk buddy cop movie. That's just what I want to see. And
I still think we're going to get that.
Oh yeah,
I hope we do. But I just hope that Thor and Hulk aren't at odds the entire fucking movie. But yeah, we'll go ahead and move on. This is quite an interesting topic. I didn't think this movie would ever get a fucking director. The Slender Man movie, not the documentary, the good one that's on HBO. The Slender Man movie, it's a scripted movie and not a documentary, has finally found a director in Sylvan White. I think that's how you pronounce his name, Sylvan White. Yeah, he directed The Losers and a couple episodes of The Following, and oh fuck, this pissed me off so much. Miller, what do you think of this, since you're the horror freak?
I think it could turn out because there's been instances where comedy actors have gone to more serious roles and they've benefited from it. I mean, his resume doesn't really fill me with hope, but I mean, I could see this being like something like, wow, he actually finally made a good movie. But yeah, just judging from his resume and what he's done, it's not really that encouraging because I didn't really care for The Losers that much. But I'm still interested just to see what will come from this movie. It'll probably be bad, but it'd be cool if it's actually good.
Darren, what do you think?
I think The Losers is one of the most underrated movies of all time. But it is a good time at the theater. I caught it. Well, I didn't see it at the theater, but I mean, that was the wrong thing to say. I might edit that out. I might not. Who knows? You might keep that in. But
day.
I saw it. No, I finally caught it, and it's really good. I guess you didn't like it, Miller, but I really liked it. It's really stylized. It has great action. It's really funny. I cared about all the characters. I mean, I had a fun time with it. I don't know that much about Slender Man. I learned about Slender Man when I was in 8th grade. My friend showed me a video, and I was scarred for life. So I didn't really look that much farther into it. But yeah, I mean, I think he can make something out of this. I think someone can make something out of this. I mean, even that documentary, that trailer looked really scary. And, you know, I mean, the only thing I have against this movie is it might be a little too late. I think the documentary is igniting some more interest into it. But this whole entire craze was going on during the 2010s, 2011.
Yeah, I'm surprised we didn't get like an official movie like this earlier.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it just seems a little late, but I still think
there's a bunch of B movies. There's a bunch of like B movies.
Yeah,
and shit like you can find on direct to video at Walmart, but
yeah, but
it hasn't a feature length one.
I still think they could probably pull something off. So I don't know. I probably won't see it because I'm a pussy, but you know, who knows? Maybe it might be good.
Tisha, what do you think?
I don't like horror movies.
Oh. Okay.
You know, I think that it's just kind of piggybacking onto the HBO's documentary, honestly. I think it's piggybacking onto the fact that just a few years ago there were those girls who were, you know, on trial for, you know, stabbing their friend because the Slender Man told them so. And so I feel like, I don't know. And then there's that movie coming out this month that's called The Bye-Bye Man. That's basically like the Slender Man. You know, don't say his name. He'll tell you what to do and all that stuff. And I never heard of the Slender Man before that trial. Honestly, I had heard of Bloody Mary. I'd heard of all that, but I'd never heard of the Slender Man. So I'm kind of freaked out by the stories and everything about this. You know, this ghost story, and I think it's just piggybacking on everybody else's ideas and the fact that it's somehow gaining popularity right now, and I just feel like, you know, let's have a nice, friendly film instead of a horror film. That's what I feel like about this movie.
Okay, well, Fox, what do you think? Or do you care at all?
I'm with Tisha on this one. I'm not a horror fan at all.
Okay.
Bad
Oh,
memories
go ahead.
with my mom and stuff.
Yeah.
She decided that she was going to put a speaker in my bathroom, and so whenever I got into the shower, she started playing the rhyme from Nightmare on Elm Street.
Holy shit!
That sounds. Your mother sounds like a very good
That's
parent.
insane.
That was terrible.
I would be terrified.
That's some
I
good
was-
parroting right there.
And so I called her and the music stopped, and I was like, okay, I know what's going on. So I was like, Mom, there ends up being a picture in front of the speaker under my sink. And she goes, there isn't, you'll be fine, blah, 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 blah. And so I pull it open, and I jump back because the picture is sitting right in front of it. And so,
What
yeah.
did you do to your mom?
Nothing. I watched Nightmare on Elm Street.
Are you
That's
sure?
what I did.
Because I don't think people. This is just like, hey, I want to fuck with my son today.
Yeah, that just sounds
That's exactly what
awful.
she's like. Like, you guys
Okay, then.
underestimate the...
Poor thing.
Like-
You underestimate my power.
You underestimate my mother's power.
You underestimate-
Okay.
Okay, well, Will, what do you think?
I'm definitely interested. I'm looking forward to seeing a trailer. I'll decide from there if the movie looks to be any good. Of course, we've had also a history of horror movies where the trailers look fantastic and you watch them and they're nothing but cheap jump scares. The Forest, I'm looking at you, you piece of garbage. So yeah, I mean, I'm interested. I'm definitely looking more forward to the documentary. Just based on that trailer alone, the documentary looks amazing. So yeah, we'll see. I've definitely got interest, but we'll see where it goes from here.
Okay, rant time. Yes. If any of you follow me on Twitter, you would see that I devoted some time to ranting about this the other day. I have actually been looking forward to this movie. I think there is a lot you could do with a Slender Man movie. And back in the 6th grade, when the Slender Man hype was going on, I was actually, I played all the games and shit, and I thought it was kind of interesting. And then that documentary trailer was released, and I was like, fuck yes, this looks amazing. And now we get this announced, and this pissed me off. It's just, it annoys me to no end that these studios just hire these directors that don't cost them anything just so they can push them around and, just add in all these fucking jump scares and shit just so these teenagers will go and see this movie and they can make a buck off of it. Could this movie be something? Yes. Will it probably be anything? No. It'll probably just be another By My Man or another Forest or whatever. But, I mean, it could be something special. I don't know. But it just pisses me off that these studios just hire these cheap directors and bad writers and bad directors that don't cost them anything just to make shitty movies that are basically their movies because they toy around with them and make sure they've got enough jump scares in there to put in trailers and get 13-year-olds interested. But I mean, I don't know. It could be good. I hope it is, because I think you can do a lot with this character. Anyways, we'll move on to the next topic. After the tragic passing of Carrie Fisher, many were wondering what Lucasfilm and Disney were going to do about Leia's character in Star Wars Episode 9. She had already filmed all of her scenes for Episode 8, but unfortunately they have not started production on Episode 9 yet. So they announced that Leia was actually going to have a larger role in Episode 9 than she does in Episode 8, and she also had a larger role in Episode 8 than she did in Episode 7, and there's been a lot of speculation on what they could be doing. Will, what do you think they'll do?
Well, I think from what I've heard about what Leia's role was supposed to be in Episode 9, she's supposed to have some huge conflict with Kylo Ren, and I'm assuming from the rumors that I've heard, and these are just rumors, but I'm assuming that that she's going to be the catalyst for the actual climax of the film, and I think that would be a really interesting thing to do. Now, I know there's been talk about, I mean, obviously, if they were going that way in Episode 9, Episode 8, she's going to still be very much there, and if they choose not to use her at all, they're going to, I mean, people are going to wonder, where's Leia? They're going to have to deal with that. I know there's been talk about possibly CGIing her face onto a body double. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I think that's preferable to outright recasting Leia, which I think most people would feel as being sacrilegious. So I don't think they're going to do that. I don't think they're just going to recast her with another actress. I don't see that happening. So, I mean, it's going to come down to either don't mention her. Well, they have to mention her, but it's going to come down to either don't have her and just write some throwaway line about where she is and give her parts to somebody else. They were talking about on Collider Movie Talk about the possibility of somehow bringing back Han Solo and giving him her part. I don't want to see that. I thought Han Solo's death was empty and pointless, but he's dead. Leave him there. Anything that they do to bring him back would be bullshit, and it would be obvious bullshit. So I don't want to see that.
And Harrison Ford definitely doesn't want to come back.
Yeah, and I guess whatever they do, ultimately, I'm going to be okay with it, because I really don't have a preference. This is a sticky situation, and I really don't, I don't want to tell Lucasfilm what to do, because I don't, neither one of those is the right decision to me, but one of them has to be made, so. Whatever they decide, I'll support.
Fox, what do you think?
This is definitely one of those stickier situations of the fact that they do already have her in a finished movie, so it's really gonna mess with it. But I mean, it's one of those things that it happened, so we're going to have to live with it. We may not want to live with it, but it happened, so we're going to have to. And I agree with Will. I'm going to support Lucasfilm in whatever they do, because nobody expected this to happen. And so whenever it did happen, it threw everyone for a loop. And I just think that they might give her a body double. I don't think that's going to happen, but they might. It's really just an unfortunate series of events that unfolded.
Oh yeah, Miller, what do you think?
I mean, whatever they're going to do, they're going to do. But I just prefer her to then just give her lines to someone, or give her parts to someone else, like maybe Luke, depending on what they'll do with him. Instead of just because definitely don't recast her, and definitely I just don't really like the idea of the CGI. Of them making her CGI. I mean, it's looked good in some movies, and it's certainly come a long way, and especially by the time they'll start production on Episode 9, but I just wouldn't like that. But, yeah, I mean, like, I think what Will was saying about it, it is like a sticky situation. It's just hard to really find the best way about how to proceed with it. But I would personally just say, just give her parts to someone else.
If I could weigh in real quick on something Miller said, if they're going to give her part, especially the confrontation with Kylo Ren part, to another character, I think Luke is the best one to give it to, because he still has that familial tie but also he was Kylo Ren's mentor. He was Kylo Ren's Jedi Master. To be honest, I think it makes more sense for it to be Luke than Leia anyway, even though Leia is his mother. I think, honestly, it makes more sense for it to be Luke that either kills him or brings him back to the light, because one of those things will happen in Episode 9.
Okay, Tisha, your thoughts?
I think that it's tragic that she passed. We've already spoken about that. I feel like recasting her would be a discredit to Carrie. But I also feel like also doing a CGI over her. I mean, I guess they did that in Rogue One, so I guess it's fine. Except that it feels like it's too soon. Personally, it feels like it's too soon for them to be doing that. But who knows? It might be years. It's years down the road that this movie will come out. So
Years.
Well, but yeah, because Disney's got to get those movies out. But
yeah, they're doing them one a year. So
exactly. So it's a couple of years down the line. So it might still feel a little too fresh and a little too close to home to have someone just standing in for her. I mean, it could be interesting to have her daughter do it, possibly, as her daughter was. Maybe she had been mentoring her daughter, because her daughter was in the movie. So maybe she had been mentoring that character, and so instead of having, Princess Leia, it would be that character. And, it turns out they were mentoring and all that stuff. But I don't know how I feel about, having a CGI Princess Leia and a CGI, or even just having her replaced entirely and saying, this is Princess Leia now, when we already know that it isn't. But they're going to do what they're going to do. I think it's a little bit of a discredit to Carrie. I think it might be interesting to have them, say, okay, we're going to have her daughter come in and she's going to play this character, and this is going to be the person that she had been mentoring in whatever length of time it had been. And, she's taking over the role. Yeah, but not in the way of, okay, she's Princess Leia now, but she's this entirely different character that is still a part of Leia. And it would mean even more because it's her actual daughter. But that's just me. I don't know.
Darren, what do you think?
Well, first and foremost, I want to bring up the whole entire Han Solo thing that they brought up in movie talk. Han Solo got stabbed in the fucking chest. His dead body fell down a chasm, and then that chasm blew up and turned into a star. He's not coming back. But,
right?
Yeah, but with the whole entire Carrie Fisher thing, like everyone, is echoing everyone's sentiments, it does suck. It really does suck for Lucasfilm that they have to kind of go into this, because it's going to be a hard road ahead. But bottom line, I don't want a CGI Leia. That just... I know they can do it, and I'm pretty sure that they're going to be able to do it damn well in 2019. But it just feels like there's a line being crossed. That's just how I feel in my stomach, in my gut. I don't want to watch a CGI dead person walking around. That just I do not want to see. I know they did it with Peter Cushing. Peter Cushing's been dead for like 15, 20 years. So
a long time.
Yeah, and he's he was in it for here and there, but that is, you can raise the question of, is that crossing a line? But I don't know, it just doesn't feel right to me. If they can find some way to either just pass her part down to another general or another resistance officer, or just I don't like Will said it. I think Will said it perfectly. You don't want to tell what Lucasfilm what to do. It's just, what I don't want them to do is a CGI character. I don't mind a recast personally. I think you can get another actor in there, and it wouldn't be disrespecting Carrie if you got the right person. But yeah, I really don't want to see a CGI character. And if they, whatever scenes make, because they did say it's going to be Kylo Ren, and then there's also a reunite. She's going to reunite with Luke. Hopefully that reunion is in episode 8, because I would love to see that. That would be really cool to see them reunite in episode 8. But yeah, I'm
still mad we're never going to get a Han Solo Luke reunion.
Me too, man. Me too. But yeah, but I just don't want to see a CGI Leia. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a definitely a sticky situation. I mean, I don't know what to do here, because I mean it feels like you're doing the wrong thing if you recast, or it feels like you're doing the wrong thing if you go CGI, and that's really the only two options. But I think, I don't know. I think
honestly, I think giving her role in the climax to Luke is sounding more and more like a viable option.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just, they could give her role to Luke, but it's the question of, how do you explain why she's not there? Do you just put in the opening crawl that something happened and she's just gone, or
They could just do a line. They could just say why she isn't there.
Yeah, or at least have a quick...
Why exactly is another story, but that's what they come up with.
Or have a quick CGI cameo, like a very quick CGI cameo, maybe, of just explaining her absence.
Yeah, you could do that. But I don't know. Whatever Lucasfilm decides to do, I'll support them, because this is definitely a tough situation. But anyways, guys, that'll do it for today's podcast. That's all we have to talk about today. Make sure you go check out our website, tillthelastcredit.wordpress.com. Hopefully soon we'll have that WordPress sub, whatever it's called, out of the way. Make sure you go follow us on Twitter at Till the Last Cred. Go like some. Actually, what's the Facebook, Miller?
Till the Last Credit. Sorry, I was on mute and I didn't realize it.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, you'll like us on Facebook at Till the Last Credit, and then you can go follow us on Instagram at Till the Last Credit. So yeah, if you like this video, make sure you leave a like. If you like our content, make sure you subscribe. If you think this video is shit, comment and tell us why you think it's shit. Until next time, bye.